Hi. So, I actually saw Chloe Bailey post her cover of Up Rocks, and I am so interested in Chloe finding her voice as an artist because she's so fucking interesting and she's so beautiful. So I want to know what she thinks. I care. She's finding her power. That's what it's called. This is a great shot. She looks so good. Wow. In this moment, Chloe Bailey's multi-talented stardom can't be denied. The 24-year-old's singing abilities are as certain as her acting skills, which have landed her role after role following her youthful debut as young Lily in The Fighting Temptations. Yes, Chloe grew right before our eyes, both musically and on screens, big and small. After gaining recognition with her sister as the singing duo Chloe and Halle on YouTube, a record deal with Beyonce's Parkwood Entertainment followed suit. Then came her debut project, 2016's Sugar Symphony, followed by The Spotlight, earning The Two of Us in 2017. The trifecta was secured in 2018 with their official debut album, The Kids Are All Right, a career-solidifying body of work that documented a coming-of-age story laced with moments of brute honesty and impressive displays of strength. It was a breakthrough that earned the Bailey sisters 2 Grammy nominations. Even with this decade-long list of achievements and accolades, there are certain aspects of present-day Chloe that even her earliest supporters did not see coming. That's so true. I did not see this. By the time Chloe and Halle prepared to release their second album, 2020's Ungodly Hour, that is an incredible album. There wasn't much doubt whether the duo could find success again. The question was more so, what would they bring to the table this time around? Through the album's 13 songs, listeners slowly watched Chloe and Halle operate at a fine level of maturity. Their natural innocence toward the world was gone and replaced with recognition as well as some cuts and bruises of the dangers in life and love. Ungodly Hour portrayed artistic and contextual growth while unlocking a brighter spotlight and a new level of attention for the Bailey sisters. This is true. Look at this image. It's incredible. Furthermore, confirming the duo's improvements, Ungodly Hour and songs from it were selected in 3 categories at the 2021 Grammys: Best Progressive R&B Album, Best Traditional R&B Performance, and Best R&B Song. In the immediate aftermath of the duo's sophomore album, Halle found herself overseas filming her role as Princess Ariel in the upcoming live-action remake of The Little Mermaid. Chloe remained stateside, but in her own unique way, she used this time to project a new version of herself. New to the public, that is, at least to screens all over the world. Yeah, with TikTok and Instagram. I mean, Chloe did it. This story of Chloe and Halle is one the public knows well. However, the story of Chloe the soloist is still one that's being put together. This is exactly what I was saying, yeah. It's been a little over a year since Chloe teased her debut solo single on what was her 23rd birthday. I didn't know that. This is 23. Have mercy, she wrote on Twitter, with both the peach and hand-raised emojis. Oh, I missed that. This officially launched the campaign for her debut single, Have Mercy, and that song arrived just 2 months later. Chloe's step into her solo artistry was one we all expected for some months, but by the time she entered her Jordan year... by then, she'd serenaded the world with covers of Drake, Marvin's Room, Nina Simone, Feeling Good, Rihanna, Love on the Brain, Cardi B, Be Careful. The series of soaring tributes began in the spring of 2021 and continued for well over a year, as Chloe tells it, and they were strategic as much as they were there for fun. I wanted people to see me get back to my roots, she said by phone from Atlanta. For all of the incredible supporters, I wanted to still feed them while I was working on my solo music behind the scenes. I didn't want to go complete ghost. Additionally, these covers also marked a blast to her past. This was how Sis and I started on YouTube, she notes. I thought it would be nice to go back to how people originally met me and how people saw me from the beginning. And the formula worked for Chloe and Halle with an artistic and personal growth that's quite hard to ignore. There's no reason why elements of that past shouldn't work in Chloe's favor for years later. As the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I wanted people to see me get back to my roots. Yeah. Wow, this is so incredible. Oh, she has so much to say. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, she has so much to say. Wow, look at these. Ooh, the writer here is Wango Okon. Oh, this is incredible. Ooh, there's so much. Okay, let's keep going. Ungodly Hour was the start of Halle. Sorry, my screen was kind of frozen. Ungodly Hour was the start of Halle and I figuring out our individuality through our group and through our music. Chloe reflects a little over 2 years since that album was released. That was truly a special time for us. When we speak, Chloe has just come off of the set of Praise This, an upcoming choir comedy film that stars Tristan Wilds, Angelica Washington, Quavo, and comedian Drewski. Following the conclusion of her Jaslyn character from Grownish, a role she assumed for 4 of the show's 5 seasons, her upcoming part in Praise This is just one of many acting opportunities she secured in upcoming films. It's been super exciting being able to throw myself into another role or character, she says. Any unhealed pieces of me, I get to heal through them. Oh, that's super interesting. It's like another way of storytelling, like how I do with music. Chloe's exploration of a solo career does not signal the end of Chloe and Halle. As a matter of fact, the two have continued to perform together as recently as Pharrell's Something in the Water Festival in the spring of 22. That performance was so good. But as new recordings continue to pile up and take space on Chloe's hard drive, a venture into the solo world seemed like the most reasonable thing to do. I was just accumulating all these songs because I was creating every single day, she recalls, and I was like, you know what? I should do something with these instead of just saving them or having them sit on my computer. That's when I explored the idea of branching out. The past 2 years haven't been the easiest for Chloe. Her stardom presents its own pros and cons. Granted, stars often experienced increased scrutiny, but unfortunately it's worse for Black women, young or old. Society always seems quick to criticize and dramatize their flaws while forgetting its own imperfections. That's so true. And in the fact that she and her sister are the musical progeny of Beyonce, and you can see that life is more complicated than it usually is for the 24-year-old. With barely a quarter century of life experience under her belt, one would hope the world would be a bit more gracious to the young singer and allow her to find herself and figure out the world at the same time. I know! God! Well, it's seemingly too much to ask from some people. Chloe isn't complaining too much. It's a weird place to be because as a human being, it does hurt sometimes, like hearing certain things, she admits. But at the same time, this is my job. So it's really up to me to create those boundaries in my mental state and be like, okay, this is what's important to me, prioritizing that, tuning out the rest of the noise. And Chloe confesses to hard moments and struggles and times of breaking down, crying and tears, but it doesn't outweigh the glory of living out the dreams her younger self longed for. I still pinch myself at the same time because I get to do what I've always dreamed of since I was a little girl. So it's like anything that you love, none of that comes easy, and anything that's worth it doesn't come easy. So I feel like it's just a part of it. Like I have to learn how to have rough skin. This mindset is the perfect display of the continued growth that Chloe has shown in this post-Ungodly Hour era. I mean, just look back to the... this keeps freezing. Look back to the beginning of last year to see how much things have changed. In February 2021, Chloe took to Instagram Live to address the wave of criticism that she received for being proud of her body and showing it off through performances and social media challenges. See her Bust It challenge entry. It's really hard for me to think of myself as a sexual being or an attractive being, quite frankly, she said as she fought back tears. Oh, wow. When I see all the uproar about my posts and stuff, I'm a bit confused. I really don't understand because I've never seen myself in that way. In 2022, she talks about flaunting her body and being herself with more immovable confidence. While finding this power had led Chloe to doing more of what she wants to do, regardless of what others might have to say about it, it's led her to pulling herself away from what harms her. Yeah, that's important. Unsurprisingly, social media comes to mind. For someone who had to denounce rumors that she was dating Future, I've never spoken to him a day in my life, and speculation connected to her involvement in the Illuminati, I didn't sell my soul. It's expected that Chloe's relationship with and consumption of social media has changed. I've noticed that I've been spending most of my time on TikTok, she says with a laugh, and I feel like it's the place where I can kind of just get lost in funny videos. That's true. As for the social media platforms that are tethered to the elder Gen Z community, like Twitter, for example, Chloe has drawn her lines in the sand. Yeah. It's like having the comment section right in your face, and you'll see many negative things, she says of Twitter. I have to give myself a break sometimes. Like, there are moments we become super obsessed with, like, what people think of you and what they're saying, while the overflow of negative comments can often be overwhelming as an artist, something Chloe comfortably admits. She also holds a bit of excitement toward eventually proving her cynics wrong and validating the predictions of her supporters. Yeah, both old and new. I'm so happy people care about what I'm doing, she says. 90% of things out there about me are complete lies and rumors, but I love proving people wrong. One day I hope people can really get to see who I truly am as a human being, as opposed to this facade of a person they think I am. Chloe hasn't had to combat her haters alone. Halle has fulfilled the role of younger sister to a T, and she's been ready on multiple occasions to go to bat for her big sis. These moments have earned comparisons to Beyonce and Solange's dynamic but near or far. Yeah, dynamic but near or far. Chloe remains grateful for her relationship with Halle. Yeah, Halle's really important and totally supports her. We are both powerful and strong, not only together, but also individually, she declares. And I really love the synergy that we have. And, I'm just so happy to always have her support, just like she always has mine. Yeah, it's so special. They're really great. The next few years promise to be exciting for Chloe, starting with her upcoming self-titled debut album. Ooh. Specific details about the project, like when it will be released and possible guest features on it, remain under wraps. However, one thing is for sure, the project will see the light of day. Back in March, Chloe revealed that her debut was complete and that it had been submitted to her label, confirming that she would not find herself in a state of constant perfecting and re-perfecting, as we've seen with some of her contemporaries. I'm just so eager for the fans to hear the songs and the music, and I hope that they love it when it finally comes out into the world, she says happily. Despite the rather skimmed details about Chloe, we do know the album will document the aforementioned rise of power that Chloe has experienced internally. In the beginning, you can tell the person who is singing is like a bird with broken wings, she noted in the past interview with Allure. As time went on, you can hear me finding my strength and confidence, and I didn't want to lose that story as I pieced together the songs. Oh, that's really special. Okay, so a glimpse into this strength and confidence is present through the album's current singles. Murda Beats produced Have Mercy, the provocative Treat Me, and the sultry, slow-burning Surprise. These records aren't as gentle or as soul-focused as we've heard from Chloe and Halle. Instead, in Chloe's world, she prefers to be feisty and in your face. She'll flaunt her assets and shake what God gave her, regardless of who's watching. But as empowering as these singles are, there are also vulnerable aspects that serve as the foundation for her to build strength. A lot of people don't know that me and my friend Theron Thomas wrote that song after I was feeling a little low and down because everyone had something to say about me and my body, she says of Have Mercy. Oh, wow. Being able to take the power back instead of men commenting, oh, that woman has a fat ass. I got to flip the narrative and be like, yes, I have a fat ass. I love myself and I exude confidence. Oh, that's important. This trend continues with Treat Me, a provocative request for reciprocation that carries a lot more bounce than one might have bargained for. Just take a look at the song's accompanying music video. Like with Have Mercy, released 8 months prior, Treat Me Sees Chloe use the opportunity to shake herself into top form after a low moment. Oh, I was dealing with somebody and I was looking for all these things inside of them that I've never even given myself, she admits about that record. So I'm like, how can I expect something from someone when I'm not giving it to myself? Oh, that's important. And it's nice to be able to expound that within a relationship. When speaking about Treat Me, Chloe also beams at the opportunity to let us in on productional aspect of the record. I think one of my favorite pieces of the song is the outro, she says. In the other hooks, I had a vocoder on my lead vocal, but for the outro, I took every note that was in the vocoder, I don't know what a vocoder is, and sang it, and then I just added some more harmonies on top, and no one really knows it was just my pure voice on the outro. They think the vocoder is still on there. Huh. That leaves us with Surprise, the outlier of the three singles, where Have Mercy and Treat Me bounce hard and strut with earth-cracking steps. Surprise is sonically subtle while also being more risque from a lyrical standpoint. Chloe's ability to find comfort in either realm is something she says is a favorite quality of hers, but also a duality that is a beautiful aspect in all people. What I love about who we are as human beings and creatures, and more specifically women, is that we have so many different layers to ourselves, she notes. But I like to think I'm a very kind person, I love God, I'm very sweet and sometimes shy and sometimes very outspoken. But when the door closes and you're very comfortable and vulnerable with that specific person, different exciting parts of you come out. For Surprise, that is undeniably true, as Chloe teases the intimate rewards of this reciprocation she begged for on Treat Me. I thought it was really fun to be able to be a young woman and be able to explain that in a sexy and subtle way, but also very bluntly. That's interesting. It's safe to say that with her debut album right around the corner, Chloe knows that this is a fresh start for a chapter for her. The Chloe we've experienced as one half of Chloe and Halle is completely different than Chloe the solo artist, and while that presents some warranted uncertainty on the upcoming project, Chloe is choosing to look at the glass half full. I think just the body of work, she says, when asked what she thinks will be the most surprising aspect of Chloe. I'm a brand new artist and I haven't had a body of work out yet, so it'll be the first thing people hear from me, really. So I think that'll be surprising in itself. And this fresh start allows for new goals to be accomplished, different heights to be reached, and of course the satisfying opportunity to prove her doubters wrong and reaffirm the faith of her supporters. Accompanying the later will mean so much for Chloe, who began this entire process with a notable amount of self-doubt to overcome. Yeah. Am I good enough? Do I like the music and the art that I'm making? Do people even want to hear me in this way? These are the questions she admits swirled in her head at the beginning, but nowadays she seems quicker to conquer the moments of self-doubt, thanks to some help from her godmother. Even now, I'm still getting out of it, she admits, of trying to prove myself to people that I'm worthy enough when I should just believe that I'm worthy enough. Oh my God, that's so true. Our conversation takes place just days before Beyonce, who signed Chloe to Parkwood and also serves as her mentor, released a long-awaited 7th album, Renaissance. And this meant that for the first time since signing to Parkwood, Chloe was crafting a solo body of work at the same time Beyonce was, offering a unique opportunity to see Queen Bee put together the album, which has been met with critical acclaim in the days following its release. Ever since I was a young girl, I've always been inspired by her, Chloe says of her mentor. To be able to hear the music and get to see her thought process in choosing certain songs and just knowing how fearless she is, it's been incredibly inspiring to me. For Chloe, success is being able to live out every single dream that I have, and when she thinks her teenage self would say to her today, she replies, "Keep going, keep holding my head up, and look what you're doing. This is what you've always dreamed of, and I know you're not exactly where you want to be, but you're on the right path. You should be proud of yourself." I'm so happy that Chloe spoke up, and you know what? I think I'm gonna really try to read more interviews by Black female artists, because I just care so much about their perspective, and I really do. I care so much about Chloe's well-being and her mental health as a Black woman in Hollywood and a Black woman in music and a writer and a creator. And I just want her to feel safe, and I want her to feel like she can exist, you know, in like her body and herself in the world. And I feel like I had a lot of assumptions because I honestly, like, I didn't read her other interviews, right? Like, I'm not a little tween to be reading all of them. And I only saw the few music videos that she put out in the one Instagram post. And if you look at those alone without all of the context that she gave here, it does give this impression that she's like hypersexualizing herself. But when she actually flips the narrative and describes how she wanted to see herself as empowered when initially she actually did not see herself as empowered, that's incredible. Like, that's what art is. Like, kudos, Chloe. Like, this was great.